Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will learn about the browser automation. I will show you how you can fill a form and also how you can extract data from the web page. So please watch this video till the end so that you can understand it completely. So let's get started. Today what we will do is we will create an account on the Facebook. How we do this activity manually. So create an account. First what we do is we open our desired uh, web browser. Then we provide the URL in the address bar and then we press enter, right? Same thing we will do in the Power Automate desktop as well. Here in Power Automate desktop, we have an activity which is called as launch new Chrome to open the Facebook page in the Chrome browser. But if you are not willing to open the Facebook page in the Chrome browser, you have some other, you know, your web browser, you can use that. So for example, if you want to open it in the Firefox, you can use launch new Firefox action. If you want to open in the Microsoft Edge browser, you can use that action, right? So first what we will do here is we will use the launch new Chrome action, and then we will choose the launch mode, how you want to launch it, because we want to open a new web browser, so we will choose the launch new instance only. Here we will provide the URL and we have to choose the window instance. So as soon as the browser will be launched, the state of that window will be maximized. So if you want to keep it normal mode, if you want to keep it minimized, you can choose the relevant action accordingly, right? In advanced section, if you see that you have some actions like clear cache, as and when this browser is launched, the cache will be cleared, cookies will be cleared, right? So these options are available here as well. And this browser instance will be stored in the browser variable. You can click on save, right? Right after launching the browser, uh, if you want to wait for few seconds before performing any action on the web page, you can use the wait action available in the Power Automate desktop. So what I will do is I will use the wait action type 2, which will directly tell that okay, you want to wait for 2 seconds. If you want to wait for 1 second, you can just type 1, right? Click on save. Now let's just run the bot, right? I will run the bot and it will open the facebook.com in the Chrome browser. Here you can see that the Facebook page is open. Now let's go back to the Power Automate, right? Now after opening the browser, launching the browser, there is an action in Power Automate desktop which is called as focus window. So we will drag and drop the focus window, and then here we have few options. You can focus the window based on three values, which is first one is by window UI element, by window instance and handle, and other one is the by title and class. So I'll choose the title and class because it will be very easily available. And then what you have to do is you have to click on this button. So now your web page is, your window is focused. Then what you have to do is on your keyboard you have to press Ctrl and your mouse left click to capture the title and class. So here you can see that window title and class is captured, and then press save. So every time when the bot is run and when it will launch the facebook.com page, after launching it, it will focus that window. So window title must be Facebook login or sign in Chrome, right? If you think that this might change, what you can do is you can use the wildcard selector. So you can remove rest of the characters after the Facebook and delete it, and then just put star. It will still work, right? And then click on save. So now this is done, right? So after focusing, what we want to do is we want to click on web page. So go to the browser automation section, and there is an option called click link on web page. Just drag and drop this here, and then click on. You have to choose the browser instance if you have more than one, but at the moment we have only one. uh, Launch new Chrome browser, and that is why we are using this browser, because we have used the same browser instance to launch the facebook.com page, and same instance we will use to click on the element. So just click on this drop down, and then click on this then use the add UI element to capture new element on web page, and then you have to highlight the field, the one you want to click on. So I want to click on create new account. Then again, what you just have to do is you have to click on, you have to press Control and left mouse click. Element will be captured, and then click, and the screenshot also will be captured of that element. Then click on save. If you want to see all the elements which are getting captured, you can just come to the right side and click on this icon UI elements. You will be able to see the elements that you have captured in your automation. So last time I have captured the create new account too. If I open it, you will be able to see the selectors. So here you can see that we have, if you double click on this selector, you will see that you have used the class, we have used the class which has this type of value, right? So now here we need to modify this selector, right? Because this selector does not seem to be very reliable. You see the ID is something like u underscore 0 underscore 2 underscore is. So these number values might change. So what we will do is we will remove this ID here and select this create account. Okay, and here let's use this, class and ordinal. Ordinal is nothing but index of that element, right? So it says that the class will be underscore 6ltg, and the ordinal is 1. And inside this div element I have one anchor tag, which is so on that anchor tag we want to click, right? So now click on update. Here you can see that I have used the launch new Chrome uh, action again, so that I can attach to that Facebook page which I have launched. So if I want to, uh, I do not want to run this bot from the beginning. If I want to test this action, which is click link on web page, I can just right click from here, and it will be still able to click, right? So I can say that run from here. After attaching to that web page, it will click on the link, click link on web page. So let's just test this now. Now you see that it is able to click on the create new account. So this element is now reliable, so now we can go ahead with this. So if you want to change the name of it, you can just right click on it, click on rename, and say that create new FB account, right? And then press enter. Similarly, if you want to edit the selector, you can click on edit. If you want to find the usage of this selector, you can do that as well. And if you want to delete it, you can click on delete, right? So this way you can work with the selectors. Okay, so what we want to do is now we want to fill that form. For that, we will go to web form filling category and then pull the focus text field on web page and drag and drop it before after the launch new Chrome where we are attaching to the opened web page. After doing all of this activity, we will again drag and drop focus text field on web page and other actions below the click link on web page when we are clicking on the create new FB account, right? And then come to this drop down, then click on add UI element, and here you have to fill this form. Just select the this input element, which is first name. So we will select it, highlight it, and then press Control and left mouse click. The element is captured. You can see a screenshot is also captured. You can click on done. Then click on save. Now we have to check the selector. So again, you can see that the ID is it looks very dynamic and it is not reliable. So click on these three dots and then click on edit and then scroll down, come to uh, input text first name, and then here we have some attributes. So what we can do here is we can use the first name because it looks very reliable to me, and then you can choose the type as text because we want to fill the data in the input text field, right? And then click on button, right? And then click on save. And let's just do one thing. Let's just put the breakpoint and then right click on the launch new Chrome and click on the run from here, and then we will see how this selector works in our case. As you can see that it is able to focus on the our desired element, right? So we can go back again, stop the bot, which means that we can use uh, this selector. After focusing the text field on web page, we have another action which is called as populate text field on web page. Here you can see that we have to choose the instance first, and then you have to come to use UI element. So we will use the input first name, and here you have to provide your first name. Let's say John, and then click on save. And if you want to test it again, right click here and then run from here, and then you will see that it is able to focus the text field on web page, and then it is able to populate the value, right, as you can see here. So the next field that we want to populate here is surname. So we will do again the same thing. We will pull the focus text field on web page, and we will in the drop down we will choose the add UI element and then highlight the element that you want to capture, and then press Control and left mouse click. As you can see that element is captured. Now go back to and then click on save. Go to the UI elements and then double click on it and you can see here that it has again captured the element as uh, ID. So ID is the attribute which is being used at the moment, but what we will do is we will modify it and make the selection as name, which has the last name, and here the input type should be text. Then click on update, then click on close. So if you run the bot, we should be able to, you know, it should be able to focus the text field, the last name text field, it should be focused. Yeah, so it is working fine. So what we will do here is we will again pull the popular text field on web page and select the element that you want that is used for the last name, and click on select and put the value as you can put anything here. So let's just say that ABC and then click on save. So now we are done with the first name and last name. So the next value that we have here is to populate the mobile number, right? So we will do the same thing here as well. We'll populate the text field, and here we will choose the add UI element. Focus the element that you want to capture. Press Ctrl and mouse left click. Element will be captured. Click on done and then click on save. And go to UI elements area and then double click the element and modify the selector here as well. Here you can see that it is again ID has been used, but we will not use the ID because that does not seem to be very reliable. And then we will choose input type as text and name should be register email, reg underscore email, and so that element will be used here. Click on update, and when you run this bot, you will see that it is again able to focus the registered mobile number and email ID. Text field will be focused. So this is working fine. We can go back again and we can again pull the popular text field on web page, and here we will again choose the element that you want to select and we will put the numbers. So let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So this will be the number which will be populated, and the next element that we have here is for the new password. If you go back and use focus text field on web page again to focus the text field and then populate the value, and then we have to capture the element. We will click on add UI element and select the element that you want to capture and press Ctrl and mouse left click. Element will be captured. Click on and come back to the elements area. Double click the new password and change the selected. To make it more specifically, just say that the type will be the password. Here you can see that in this case the ID is very reliable, so we can go ahead with that. There should not be an issue, and we can also select the registered password and then click on update. So now if you run the bot, we should be, you know, it should be able to focus the new password text field. Right, so this is working fine. And so here also we can pull the popular text field on web page. Here we can choose the element. So new password element will be used, and password we can just give anything. Click on save, and we are done with the password as well. Now the next thing is we have to choose the date of birth. So as we can see that it is our drop down list, right? For the date we have given the drop down list for month and year as well. So we will go back to the Power Automate desktop, and we have an option called set drop down list value. Pull this action and then choose add UI element. Here you have to choose the element that you want to capture and that you want to populate. Element will be captured, and here we can see that select the options by name, and what name we will choose here is, let's say, 12, and then click on save. Come to the UI element, select the element that you want to use, and here we are using the ID as day. So this is fine. We can just use the name as well, and title we can use day. This should be fine. We can close it and then right click and run the bot. And then it should be able to select the date as well. So this is working fine here as well. So the next element that we want to populate is month, right? So we will again do the same thing. We'll pull the set drop down list value on web page, and here we will choose the add UI element. Go to the web page and select the element that you want to populate, and then and here you have to choose the, let's say you want to select as March. Click on save and go to the UI elements page and select, check the selector. It looks fine to me because it is using the month, so we can just go ahead with that. And same thing we will come back and do for uh, year, right? So just use the add UI element, select the element that you want to capture, and once done, and here let's say you want to, so here maybe I'll show you how you can use the select options by index. So let's just say you want to choose the whatever the item is available in that drop down list at the second index, we will use that. Okay, and then click on save. So here also you can come back and check the UI element and see how the selector is. So selector looks fine for me because it is using ID and it is looking reliable as well. So we can go ahead with that, and then come and choose the select drop down a radio button on web page. The reason behind that is because if you look at the next element, it is a radio button, right? So now which radio button we have to choose here? So let's say I want to choose the mail, right? So just select this element and click on save and check the UI element. Here you can see that we have to do some work on selectors. So here we will modify some selectors. We will see which one works for us. So if I select this female male custom, so probably we can remove this, and here also let's just not use this one, and let's come to the last one. So here we see that okay, there is a class which is like underscore 58 empty, and the ordinal we can use here, right? So let's just see if we put it as 0, so what happens. So let's close it. Why I'm using 0? Because here if you see that, so probably if that selector is going to work in our case, so maybe if female should be selected. So now what we will do is we will drag this select radio button on web page and put it right after the launch new Chrome so that we can test it quickly. And I'll just put the breakpoint here, and let's just run this bot and see if it is working. So we will click on launch new Chrome and select run from here, and if that selector is working, then female should be selected. So as you can see that female is selected, which means if we choose uh, if we put the ordinal as 1, then male should be selected, right? So we will go back to the Power Automate, stop the bot, go to the UI elements area, select the label main, and modify the selector as um, let's put it as 1, right? So it should work to select the male radio button, right? So we can put it back here. So this is fine now. Now the last thing is that we have to click on uh, sign up button, right? So I'm not going to actually create an account, so I will just show that how the whether that element is going to work or not, right? So what I'll do is I will just use the focus text field on web page so that when this action is executed, that element should be highlighted in yellow, right? As you can see, every time when we use the focus text field on web page, that particular element is highlighted in yellow color, right? So I'll use the add UI element, come back to uh, page and select the button and just press Control and uh, left mouse click, and the element should be selected. Done. Come back to uh, click on save, and then go back to the elements area and see the selector. It looks very dynamic, so I'll come back, select the button, and instead of using the uh, ID, I will choose the name and type, and then click on close. So again, if I want to test this element quickly, instead of you know going through all the elements, I'll just put it on top right after the launch new Chrome, and right click on the launch new Chrome and then select the run from here. If the element is getting highlighted, which means that our selector is working. So as you can see, it is highlighted in yellow, so which means the selector is working fine. We can go back to the Power Automate again, stop the bot. So our job is done. Okay, so we are done with the selectors. Now what I have to do here is only, so first what we are doing is we are launching the Facebook page, and after 2 seconds we are focusing that Facebook page, and then we are attaching to the page, and then you know what we are doing here is, what we have to do is we have to click on the create an account. So I'll just drag this element, go on top and put it right after the attach browser instance action, right? So and then once it is clicked, let's just copy this action, come to the focus text field and put a delay of 2 seconds. So after selecting, you just press Ctrl B, that action will be pasted here, right? So let's start and let's do one thing. We will test this code. So now let's run the bot and see if it is working fine for us.